Hello everyone. Today I want to talk about event sourcing and what is the problem beyond event sourcing and how we can solve this problem. Okay, let's start first with the problem. What is the problem and what is the solution? Okay, imagine you are creating an application that's food customers order foods from your application and restaurants deliver this food orders to the customers. Okay, and you are applying microservices pattern and you have several services like order, kitchen, account, etc. And you want to you receive orders from the customers through the API gateway, and the order request comes to the order service to create the order and create an ID for the order, and goes to the other services. Imagine you need to write the order, but you cannot just write it in the order service. You need to write in the kitchen service and other services too, relative to the order. I mean, and how to do that? You need to start a transaction. You know there's a pattern about the Saga and handles the communication between the other services when you make a transaction, service level transaction actually, and order service will make a transaction, and Saga handle this transaction and send request to the other service, for example, kitchen. If you think about the kitchen particularly, imagine there are too much events coming from the order. Think about for only one single order, for example, when an order comes first, order will be created. It is actually an event. We must handle this kind of situation like an event, and we will create this event, this event, and share this event with the other services with the Saga pattern. And in the other time, while order going on, customer come and said, I wanted to update the ingredients of the order. What we will do, we will create another event and distribute it with the Saga pattern, and while still order going on, and customer come again and want to say, I want to update the size of the order, and let's create another one, and so on and so on. And when we think about the kitchen service particularly, there comes too much events consequently, and we need to handle these events. In the traditional way, what we would do, we would create a table in the kitchen service, and we would write all the coming records to the table, like order ID and ingredients of it, and another relative to kitchen, and knowledge about the kitchen will be here. And what is the problem with it? We already do this in our novel way, and we do for all of kind of project. It is good for now. What is the problem behind it? This is the problem. We actually keep the current state of the order, right? We don't know what was the situation status of the order before this status, and we don't know what happened before. I said order created, ingredient updated, and order size updated. We just know order size updated, and the status of the order kept as order size updated, and the price and other ingredients kind of knowledge stays like that. But what if the customer want to draw back? Like, I don't want to update the order size anymore. I just want to go back to the previous state. I want to write this uh, order order created. Okay, order ingredients updated and order size updated. Okay, these are our events, and our customer want to say just I want to go to the previous state, that is order ingredients updated, and the order must be made to this kind of to this status. Okay, how can I handle this? Let's think about it. What about, instead of keeping the last status of the order, what about if we keep the events? Instead of keeping the status, keep the events, like that. If we keep create order create events, order ingredients updated events, and order size updated event in the database. Okay, you can say, okay, we can keep the events. What and but how about if you want to create the current object? How can I get the current state of the order object? Okay, then if there is a this kind of problem, you can create the object by applying the events. For example, if you create an object in the C sharp like an order, and if you apply these all events in the database to this object, you will handle an object that has the current state here. These are our events. We applied and we created the object in the C sharp application, .NET application, and we applied all of these events to the object. And in the last time we get the order object, and we can manage this order object as we want. Let's think. Okay, we said we can handle this object, and in the kitchen service, when we want to work with the order, we just constructed the object, and we then will work with this object. But there is another problem with this application. When we apply all of these events to the object, like say this is order object in the C sharp, this will makes us some performance problem, because there might be too much events that needs to be applied to the object, and applying these all of events makes us some performance problem. How can we handle this? If we think about making an snapshot, right, in some way in the events queue, we don't actually need to look at the events before the snapshot, because we have a snapshot to the status of this at this time, and we can apply events then after this snapshot. and we can go on. This will increase our performance. Okay, I think I could understand. I could explain. I could explain the problem to you, and I will show you how can we keep this data in the database. Okay, imagine you have an order ID and order come to kitchen, and the events might be kept in the database like this, in the array, and the object we can handle this kind of events in the MongoDB. For example, we can keep the array in the objects. Okay, there I want to talk about the event store database before finishing up. We can keep the data in the event store, uh, and we can handle our data with the event store too. You can use MongoDB and event store and other kind of stores to keep your events in the database. Thank you for watching. Okay.